Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. I hope you all are doing well. I am Sumera, Healthy Wali from the platform of Rehan Artificial Intelligence Teacher Training Institute Level 1. Welcome to all of you in another exciting episode. Today, our topic of discussion is understanding the basics of financial independence. Viewers, financial independence is not about becoming rich overnight. Rather, it's about making smart financial decisions every day. So, let's explore this topic today with Maya that how good financial habits can help us to build a secure, confident, and stress-free future future. Uh, Without delay, let's start our discussion. So, I welcome my guest in my studio today. Welcome to the studio,
Hey
Maya.
there.
Assalamu
What's
alaikum,
up?
and how are you doing today?
Walaikum assalam. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. How are things going with you?
Okay, Maya. First of all, I would like to know that what is financial freedom, or financial independence? What's the difference between two, and why it is so important in someone's life?
That's a big question to kick things off with. Basically, financial independence is the point where you've saved enough that you don't have to work for a paycheck anymore. Your assets cover your basic needs. Financial freedom is more of a mindset and a lifestyle. It's having enough wealth that you can live exactly how you want without worrying about the cost. One is about survival and security, the other is about total choice. It's important because it trades the stress of how will I pay for this for the freedom of what do I actually want to do with my time. Does that distinction make sense or does it feel like a bit of a semantic game?
You are absolutely right, Maya. Financial freedom gives us greater freedom and peace of mind. Maya, tell me that what are the first steps someone should take towards the financial independence?
The first move is usually just getting a clear picture of where everything stands. I'd suggest starting with a ruthless audit of spending, not to judge yourself, but just to see where the leaks are. From there, building a small emergency fund is huge because it stops a single bad day from wiping out all your progress. Once that safety net is there, the focus usually shifts to paying off high interest debt and starting to invest early and often. Do you think the hardest part is actually saving the money or just knowing where to put it?
That is an excellent point, Maya. I really appreciate your concern. For my viewers, a strong financial plan begins with a simple habit. Maya, tell me that why is budgeting an essential part of managing personal finance? I do believe that a budget help us to make smarter financial decision. What is your opinion about that?
I completely agree with you. A budget isn't really about restricting your life, it's about giving your money a job. Without one, money has a funny way of just disappearing into the void of small, mindless purchases. When you actually track it, you're essentially taking the steering wheel of your own life instead of just being a passenger to your impulses. It turns, I can't afford that into, I'm choosing to spend my money on this instead.
Absolutely right, Maya. Consistent savings builds a stronger financial future. So tell me that how important is saving money for achieving the financial dependence?
It's essentially the fuel for the whole engine. You can't build a bridge without materials, and you can't build independence without a surplus. Saving is what creates the gap between your income and your expenses. And that gap is where your freedom actually lives. If you spend everything you make, you're essentially tethered to your job forever, no matter how much you earn. Do you think people struggle more with the discipline of saving or the fear that they'll never save enough?
That is excellently explained by you, Maya. Maya, being prepared give us a confidence during the unexpected situation. So tell me that what is an emergency fund and why should everyone have one?
An emergency fund is basically your financial airbag. It's a stash of cash set aside specifically for the things you can't predict, like a sudden medical bill, a car breakdown, or losing a job. Without it, those life happens moments usually end up on a credit card, which just creates a cycle of debt. Having that cushion means a crisis is just an inconvenience rather than a disaster. Do you think most people keep too little in their safety net, or are they just too scared to touch it even when they need to?
You shared a very valuable insight, Maya. Thank you so much for that. Tell me that how can investing help people to build long-term wealth? Because I do believe that long-term planning is essential for financial growth. What is your opinion about that?
I'm right there with you. Long term planning is the only way to stop trading your time for money indefinitely. Investing is essentially putting your money to work so you don't have to work as hard later. While saving is about preservation, investing is about growth. Through things like compound interest, your money starts generating its own money, and then that new money generates even more. Over a few decades, that snowball effect is what actually builds real wealth rather than just a decent bank balance. It's the difference between climbing a ladder one rung at a time and taking an elevator to the top. Do you think the biggest hurdle for people starting out is the risk involved or just not knowing where to start?
I completely agree with you, Maya. I do believe that multiple income streams provide greater financial security. Tell me that, am I right, and why it is important to have multiple source of income?
You're spot on. Relying on a single paycheck is like walking a tightrope without a net. If that one source disappears, everything else falls apart. Having multiple streams of income, whether it's a side hustle, dividends, or rental income, spreads your risk, gives you a level of leverage and peace of mind because you're no longer dependent on the whims of a single employer. Plus, it usually accelerates the timeline to that financial independence we were talking about earlier. Do you think most people avoid this because they're afraid of the extra work or they just don't know how to monetize their skills?
I completely agree with you, Maya. Learning from the mistakes help us to build a better financial habits. Maya, tell me that what are the common financial mistakes people should make to avoid?
One of the biggest ones is definitely lifestyle creep. That's when your spending increases the moment your income does. So you're still living paycheck to paycheck, even though you're making more money. Then there's the trap of high interest debt, like relying too heavily on credit cards for things that don't actually add value to your life. And honestly, just not starting early enough. People often wait for the perfect time to invest, but time is the most valuable asset you have when it comes to compound interest. Do you think people make these mistakes because of a lack of education, or is it more about the pressure to keep up with everyone else?
You are absolutely right, Maya. I am completely agree with you. Finally, I'm going to wrap the show, and my last question to you, Maya, is that what is your best advice for anyone who want to become financially independent?
My best piece of advice would be to focus on the gap. Don't get too obsessed with how much you make, but rather how much you keep. The secret to independence isn't necessarily a high salary, it's the discipline to keep your expenses steady while your income grows. If you can master that and stay consistent with your investing, the math eventually does the heavy lifting for you. Just remember to live your life along the way. Financial independence is a tool for happiness, not a replacement for it.
Thank you so much, Maya, for joining us today in our show. That's truly, truly inspiring advice for everyone. And you shared a very valuable insights regarding the financial independence. I really appreciate your effort for my viewers.
It was honestly a pleasure being part of the show. I'm so glad you and your viewers found it helpful. You're a natural host. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Maya, and thank you all the viewers who are joining us today in our show. Independence is not about how much you earn it; it's about how wisely you manage it, what you earn. So, viewers, Start saving, spend wisely, continuous learning, and make smart financial decisions to build a secure future. That's all for today's session. See you in the next episode soon. Till then, take very good care of yourself. Keep learning and be healthy. Allah
It
Hafiz.
was such Allah Hafiz. Take care, and I can't wait for the next episode.